It is certain that we have not heard the last about the recent spat between Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen and Napoli. Yesterday, Napoli's statement about that issue fell short of an apology that the Super Eagles star reportedly wanted from the club. On that note, I welcome you to Nigeria Super Fans Forum. Of course, this is where we discuss all things football on the continent of Africa. My name is Ashalulu Afemi. James Agberebi and Kyle, they're also on the show today. Guys, you're welcome.
Thank you, Femi. So it's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, man.
Okay, so we say happy independence to Nigeria ahead of another celebration. We hope that God will breathe on this nation. Okay, guys, let's get started. So much to talk about today. Of course, we will also be going to Guinea. We will also be talking about Samuel Eto'o and the aggrieved parties in Cameroon. They've taken their plight to FIFA to help remove Samuel Eto'o as the president of the FECAFOOT. So much to talk about today. Guys, let's get started. James, I'm sure you've seen that statement from Napoli that was released yesterday. It fell short of the apology that Super Eagles striker actually wanted. What did you make of that statement, James?
Well, when I saw it, I wasn't surprised because the talent knowing who they are, I didn't really expect them to come out and say, "Oh, we are sorry, this, that." I think I've seen something like this happen in the past where an Italian club was to make an apology or something, but what they came out with, it still left the whole thing. I think it was kind of a racial something too, involving a racial comment or so. Okay, I think it had to do with a player being. Somebody now was trying to play down the issue and still use the picture of a monkey, So when I just felt like I think it's better we just move on from this issue. To them, they feel they've apologized in their own way. That's the way they feel that they've apologized. So I think the way it is, whether Osimhen now, I don't know how he's going to interpret that. Whether it's going to suit him or is going to add feel to the whole issue now. That's another thing. The good thing is at the game they played against Udinese, I'm so happy that he didn't allow what happened to affect him. At least he was able to prove to everybody that he's still the goal machine that he is. He scored. You heard the fans chanting his name and everything.
Like the typical way of Osimhen removes his mask and runs towards the fans.
Yeah, I think that was even an indication that it's still not something that he's not happy. So the club, like I said, to them they've apologized. That way they don't want to. I don't know. Maybe they are so arrogant to come out and openly apologize. So I think this I don't know the way things are going. I will be shocked if Osimhen continue to stay in the club. You might not have a problem with the fans because when you score, you are chanting name. But I think it's deeper than what we see. So let's just see what happens. Some people are indicating January transfer. Some people are saying maybe at the end of the summer. We'll wait and see.
Okay. All right, Kyle, I know you are itchy to talk about this. They had very, very strong words for Napoli. And they said, particularly Ulisse, he described Napoli as racist and they are ingrate. Joseph Dosu also used very, 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 very strong words. Joseph Dosu particularly referred to, I'm sure you've seen a video of a black girl, I think somewhere in Finland, who wasn't given a medal, on a roll of other white ladies of her age. They were given a medal, and a white woman skipped her and gave a medal to our other colleagues. Joseph Dosu made reference to that point, and he said racism is a cancer. Kyle, I'm sure you have also seen the statement from Napoli, and just quickly, I read a part of that. It said, Calcio Napoli, wishing to avoid any exploitation of the issue. Okay, sorry, that wasn't the statement, but they were saying that they didn't intend to annoy or mock Victor Osimhen. Kyle, do you also agree that this is racism? If you agree, I've seen where other opposing teams racially abuse players from the other side, but I've never seen a place where a club racially abuse their own player. I've never seen it. Maybe it has happened, but I've never seen it.
It has actually happened in the past. It has happened in Italy. It has happened in Eastern Europe mainly. It has happened in Eastern Europe. But the thing, what my takeaway from this is that racism is still very, very alive. It is still supported. It is still supported in the highest echelons of football. It is still a cultural thing. The difference between racism in England, for example, and in the place like England, like Italy, is that it is blatant. They don't hide it. In England, somebody could actually pass off racist remarks to you without you knowing, without you realizing that this person is being racist. But in Italy, they will say it to your face. Now, we were talking about this earlier about whether what Osimhen did was right or wrong, and I condemned what he did. And I said he should apologize, which he has done. Now, his own club will put out if a rival club puts it out, I can understand. But his own club, we are talking about Osimhen. It's not how many months ago that he won the Scudetto for them. Yeah, I know he did that with his other teammates, but yeah, he was the arrowhead of that team that won the Scudetto for them after 30 years, or after over 33 years or thereabout. So
33 years.
33 years. So for me, I think it was a wrong move. But I also like Osimhen's reaction. You know what? Nobody can pull you down if you do not allow them. He went on to do his business. He scores goals. That's what he's paid to do. Yeah, I know you don't love me. I also don't love you. There's nowhere in this contract that says he must love the club or the players or his teammates or the fans. He has been brought to score goals. And he's doing that. So for me, I think he's doing the right thing. And for those who think this is not is on edge, I remember a certain Dutch player, Van Uitonk, when he was at Nottingham Forest. He had a problem with the coach, with his teammates, and with the fans. But you know what, Femi? Every game he plays, he goes out there, he scores and celebrates on his own. He wasn't celebrating with anybody because in terms of his contract is that he should score goals. He didn't say he should celebrate with anybody. You understand? So for me, I like Osimhen's reaction now, and that has sort of pacified me against what he did initially. He has shown remorse by apologizing, and then he has gone on, regardless of what is happening around him, he has gone on to keep scoring goals. I hope he continues this, because sooner or later, the club will find out that Osimhen has outgrown the club itself. And when that day comes, he will leave with his head high.
Okay, quickly, I'll read a part of that statement from Napoli. It said, Cascio Napoli, wishing to avoid any exploitation of the issue, points out that we never wanted to offend or mock Victor Osimhen, who is a treasure of the club. Well, a lot of people have told them that they've lied because they didn't show that at all. What does it take them for Napoli to just say, we are sorry, it was a mistake? And they deliberately, blatantly avoided that in the statement, meaning that they actually knew what they were doing. And like I said earlier, Victor Osimhen didn't, Sunday Olise didn't hold back in his a message on his X platform. And he said, forever proud to be Nigerian, one must show personality, work hard, and refuse to be intimidated. Let racist and ingrates talk. He said that's why they are eternal losers who secretly wish they are created like you. Osimhen needs to leave Napoli as soon as yesterday. James, Saudi Arabia, they've been in the offing for a while for Osimhen. Remember that huge money he turned down during the summer for Napoli renewal? That renewal is even in jeopardy as it were now, because it is not certain if he wants to commit his future to the club. Yesterday, an Italian airline used Osimhen to advertise their flights from Napoli to London. So a lot of Chelsea fans are happy. They say, yeah, it's going to be, I think, about 19 euro thereabout. Very cheap flight. But a lot of Chelsea fans are saying, yeah, Osimhen, just book this flight and come to Stamford Bridge. But let's look at it. Would you expect Osimhen, really, if this matter is still not resolved as it's supposed to, leave Napoli maybe he might stay till the end of the season. But would you expect him to leave if things remain as they are right now?
I mean, I see Osimhen leaving. No matter how they want to look at it, he just has to leave. I mean, they just show the kind of people they are. No, fine, we're not saying everybody in Italy, but I mean, this thing is something that has been going on. You cannot hide it. It has always been there. You know, they will never come out to own up. They will put it to your face that you know, this is what they know. Fine, in England, they can still go at least you can still give kudos to them that they still try to fight it, even though it's there. But at least they still. But in Italy, nothing like that. So for me, I think Osimhen, the way things are going on, he's not happy. He's so evident that he's not happy, and I expect him to leave. I think the Chelsea people, they should not jubilate too much because they signed almost everybody and nothing is working. So I don't think Osimhen. I think he has an agent. Nobody wants his client to go to a struggling club. You know, you might go there and your career will just go down. Somebody like Mikhail Mudryk, a very talented player, is struggling. Almost everybody is struggling at Chelsea. So for me, I don't think I'm not writing off Chelsea because they are one of the big clubs in Europe. But I think there are other bigger clubs too who I believe Osimhen will do well if they come for it. We heard at one point that Manchester United are also interested. And so that's the good thing there is if Osimhen should leave Napoli today, it's going to be a club that is bigger than Napoli. That one is for sure because his value is very high. You know, so that's one thing they should understand. But you know, there's still a contract. He cannot just make the move by himself. But whoever wants to come for him is a club that's bigger than Napoli.
Okay, of course, Real Madrid could even be in the offing because Real Madrid at the moment, we heard that they are looking at signing a striker. Kayode, Osimhen does not have a problem with the fans because I think 2 days ago, I even saw some pictures with a lot of Napoli fans draping their buildings in Osimhen's flyers and all of that, banners and all of that. He does have a problem with the fans, but would you also still expect him to leave? Because 2 days ago, we saw when he was arriving in the club's hotel before the game against Udinese, he deliberately didn't shake hands with his teammate. He just went ahead, shook hands with the team manager, left one of his teammates' hand hanging like this. Would you expect him to leave the club also, Kayode, at the end of the season?
Well, it's still a long way to the end of the season. It's still a long way to January. Hopefully, things would have been normalized between both the player and the club by the end of by January transfer.
But sorry, Kayode, what is even there to normalize? Because you've deliberately racially abused your own player.
You see,
if the club doesn't say, if the club do not say sorry,
the thing there is the club has to back down. They are currently backing a high horse now. They have to back down from the horse and admit that okay, we messed up. We want to clean this up. And I'm not saying this because it is Osimhen. I would have said it if they had done the same to any other player. You don't do that to the players who go out every week to break their backs to make sure that they keep your fans happy. Yeah, you could make the argument that they are being paid. Yeah, but we've seen other clubs where players are being paid very huge amounts of money every week and they still cannot perform.
Like
so
what club?
You said?
Manchester United, like what club?
No, you cannot come Manchester. You know the club, but I'm not going to mention names. So for me, I think the most important thing is that things normalize between them, so that it can. I see it's because the club they have not managed this issue well. It's something that they should have kept behind them. The moment the player apologized, it should have been over. But the fact that somebody put out video out means that it has the backing of the top hierarchy of the club, or else somebody should have lost their job as we speak. But because when you do things like this, you know that you have the backing of the owners of the club. That's why it's easy to do. So, but for me, for his sake, for his career progression, I hope he's able to see this. At least this season, he's able to see how, but like James said, and I 100% agree, he's going to leave. He's going to be going to a big club, probably bigger than than Napoli. If he chooses, because let's face facts, Napoli are still a small club. They are still a small club. They are not among the top teams. Yeah, they won the title, but they are not among the top teams. When you talk about the top teams, you talk about the 2 Milan clubs, you talk about Juve, you talk about Lazio, you talk about Roma. Before you talk about Napoli, but it is what it is. They are the reigning champions, and we have to accord them that respect. But for me, like I said, I hope things are normalized between both parties in good enough time.
Okay, we also heard that Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis has decided to take an action against maybe the TikTok manager. We don't know what is going to do to him. But like I already said, I think the club should come out and say, Osimhen, we are sorry. It doesn't take anything from Napoli to say we are sorry. If they do not, it means they really had an intention, and of course they put out there to the eyes of the world. Okay, guys, let's talk about the 2025 and 2027 AFCON host. It was surprising to hear from CAF President Patrice Motsepe that Nigeria and Benin Republic withdrew their hosting bid for the 2027 edition. And of course, remember, Algeria also withdrew. And for the 2027 edition, of course, we have Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, East African. They will be hosting this tournament. But the concerning thing for me and for a lot of people is that I saw a number of memes from Ugandans, and our producer was going to flash it on the screen now. They are already even mocking their country for winning the hosting right. I read a report somewhere which says that out of these 3 countries, they only have 3 standard stadiums of these 3 countries. So meaning that in about 2027, well, some people have argued that there is still time. But I'll start with you, James. James, I don't know why the criteria CAF used to give these 3 countries the hosting right, where at least in Nigeria, that is the argument. At least we have maybe a few standard pitch, and maybe the Republic could have produced 1 or 2 as well. But we have Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania who have maybe only 2 or 3 standard pitches. Most of them have even played their AFCON games away from their own country. Their AFCON qualifier games.
Yes. After the announcement, I think there's one a journalist from Algeria. He made mention of this issue of these countries not playing their own games. Mm-hmm. They had to travel away, So I heard him, and he got a lot of stick from from a lot of people, So I think for CAF to give the hosting right to these 3 countries, I think maybe from now to then, hopefully they would have gotten these infrastructures in place, So I personally, I was, the good thing is when you host, there's always this excitement, when you get, especially as a journalist, when you get involved, and even people who are not even journalists, people. I remember when the Lagos National Sports Festival was held in Lagos. I had the privilege of covering it, and it was excitement. That's what hosting does, the economic size and every other thing. So I think so that's one aspect that we'll miss out. But I don't have any issue with the competition going to these 3 countries. They've never hosted before. I think they've participated, a couple of AFCONs, and I believe it's a way to at least let it go around. When was the last time the East African country host? I can't even recall when the last time they host the AFCON was hosted there. But the fact that they now brought these 3 countries, maybe in a way it will lessen the burden. I know that it would have been very difficult for even just one of them, Tanzania, Kenya, or Uganda, to even host this as one country. So that's why they had to bring the 3 of them to host it. So hopefully before that time, the infrastructure, everything would have been put in place. I know that it's not going to be easy. Countries like the North Africans, South Africa, or even to an extent Nigeria, if we put our heads down, I believe that there are countries that can. Ghana hosted in 2008, Cameroon too, So I think it's good that it's going around. It's not. There was one time Egypt was just hosting. It was their birthright. I think they should be the country who have hosted this competition the most. Yeah, fine, you cannot argue because they have the facilities. In Morocco, sometimes they want to. Sometimes CAF kind of ask them to build them out.
As a backup plan, yeah.
Yes, so I think it's good when the things go round, at least part of it, and hopefully before that time, from now to 2020, that's like 4 years time, I believe, and they would have, because they know that it's a big task for them now, and they cannot disappoint. So hopefully, at least if each of them have a two stadium, at least should go around, you know. So hopefully before that time, I really want this I want them to be successful in this hosting, so that at least let's go around, not the usual suspect all the time. That's one thing about hosting competition. Give it the opportunity to go to other African countries and see how things are. That's the beauty of hosting a competition.
Okay. James, I'm going to shock you with this question I'm going to ask Kayode, because none of these countries have two standard stadiums. Now, Kayode, CAF President Motsepe said, and I quote, he mentioned the reason why Morocco were awarded the 2025 hosting rights. He said, was talking about, he said the main reason is to support Morocco in its candidacy for the 2030 World Cup, jointly with Spain and Portugal. That is understandable. But according to AFP, Kayode, he said Kenya and Tanzania have only one international standard venue each, and Uganda none. Kayode, I know Motsepe said just to help other countries, help them know that they need to develop their infrastructure. Kayode, but is that good enough reason to award it? Those who CAF decided to give it to these three countries. Do you think that is enough reason for CAF to say, okay, we want to help them, or want them to develop their infrastructure as the reason why we are giving this to them? Is that tenable enough, Kayode?
Let's look at it from this angle, Femi. You're looking at these three countries. They are the only hope of Eastern Africa ever hosting the AFCON. Well, the last time it went to that part of the continent, and it wasn't really in the heartland of the east of Eastern Africa, we were talking about when Sudan and Ethiopia hosted. And the last time was Ethiopia hosted last in 1976. Sudan was in 1970. So for me, and those are not even the core East African countries. So for me, this is the only opportunity they have to host. If this team is going to go to Southern Africa, for example, you are not expecting, apart from South Africa, I'm not sure Zambia will host alone. You are going to see Zambia, Zimbabwe hosting, co-hosting. And look at, when you come to West Africa, of course, Nigeria is able to host on its own. But then if you ever have any hope that Benin Republic, Togo will host the competition, they have to be co-host with either Nigeria or Ghana. Or Ghana. But the essence of this competition is to develop infrastructures. When you host, visitors will come and go, teams will come and go, but those infrastructures will remain. The infrastructures that South Africa are using hosting the World Cup in 2010 are still there. So if they need to host anything today, they just need to brush it up and they are good to go. So for me, I think it is a well-considered decision to award the hosting right to East Africa. Because, Femi, they do not have a realistic chance of winning the AFCON. They should be able to host. Let's not deceive ourselves. They do not have the teams to compete and win. So let them be able to host. So if now they have 4 years to develop infrastructure. I know Kenya can come up. They have the stadium in the Arapmoy Stadium in Nairobi, and they have one in Mombasa too. Although the one that they took us to during the 1998 World Cup qualifier in Kasarani, that's a no-no for me. That's a no-no for me. So what I think we should be looking at is not about whether you see when you turn this hosting thing into an elitist cult that it is only Nigeria, Egypt, Morocco, you are shutting out other countries. And it is not the best. Let them host. Now they know the significance, the magnitude of what they have committed to. So, I mean, CAF didn't ask them. CAF is not forcing them to come and host. They actually bidded. They submitted a bid to host. Now them use their hand by trouble. So they said they wanted to host. Now you have it. Go and host. Let us see what
Okay,
you do.
okay.
So
Okay.
for me, I think it was a well-considered decision. And I applaud the bravery, the courage of CAF to trust the three countries with the hosting.
Okay, so let's talk about Samuel Eto'o now. A joint statement from football stakeholders in Cameroon. They've sent a letter to FIFA and CAF. Remember earlier it was just CAF, but now they've applied to FIFA about removing Samuel Eto'o as the president of the FECAFOOT. And in that statement, they've told CAF president and of course FIFA president Gianni Infantino to help remove Eto'o, who they said has illegally imposed himself on FECAFOOT. Now they talk about a lot of issues that Samuel Eto'o has maybe he acts as an ambassador to a betting company, and now they have taken their flight to a FIFA president. Kayode, now what should they do? They also talk about the conduct of Samuel Eto'o in public, which they said has not glorified his office. They talk about, remember the assault on a journalist at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, where he nailed that journalist, outside the stadium, when the journalist was asking him about some match fixing issues that were leveled against him in Cameroon. Kayode, in this instance, what do you think FIFA and CAF should do? CAF said the matter is under investigation, but since August, this is about the end of September, and we have not heard anything. What do you think FIFA, let's even leave FIFA now, should do? Because at this moment, maybe FIFA might likely take over the case and just ask CAF to unsolve it.
Femi, I think let's be honest here. There's not much that CAF or FIFA can do. They cannot remove Eto'o. They did not install him as president. It is a local issue, although when it comes to the issue of ethics and integrity, they have to uphold that in the interest of football. So they can only investigate. And you cannot force them to investigate at your own time or your own pace. They will do their thing, their investigation, their way, the way they feel is proper, in order not to make anybody feel shortchanged. When they feel they are ready with their findings, they will come out and say, hey, Eto'o is not running away. He's not running away. So why the rush? Let them do their investigation. You have taken and that's the problem I have with people. You have taken your case to CAF. You have reported to CAF. Now you are not allowing CAF to do their diligence. Let them investigate. Let's see what exactly is a problem. And if Eto'o is found guilty, I will support his removal. But don't forget that if they're going to remove him, they will not need CAF to come and remove him. They have to use the same processes through which Eto'o got into office to remove him. They will use the football statutes of the Cameroonian FA. Not that they will wish him away, or that they wish that CAF will just come and depose him and overthrow him, like as if it's a coup d'etat. So for me, let's just wait and see how this works out.
Okay. James, they've raised a number of issues, and these are very key individuals in Cameroon football or Cameroonian football. Now we have the president of the Professional Football League of Cameroon and the former vice president of FECAFOOT, Erin Jala Kwan Jr. They said CAF and FIFA should take action, and of course, as a matter of fact, expedite action on the matter. And like I said earlier, they raised a deal with a sport betting company. Now look at it, ethic-wise, isn't it even wrong for a president of a football association to have a deal with a sport betting company?
I want to go with what Kayode said. It's like they just want to jump the gun. I mean, you've laid the complaint, so allow the appropriate body to do their work. You're like, oh, the people at CAF, they are taking too long. I mean, they are not going to take action because you are putting pressure on them. Look, if they bring Eto'o now, say, okay, this is what Eto'o also will have something to say. So you're not expecting to just say, okay, all what they're saying about him is true. You have something to say. So they should just allow follow due process. Find that all these are just allegations. No matter how you want to look at, they are allegations. There's no concrete evidence. So just allow the appropriate bodies to do their work. Not that it start mounting pressure that you are surprised that you've not removed him. How? It was not car for FIFA that placed him there. So you have to follow the due how you got in there. Just like what Kyle said, the way you put him there. That's the way you follow the number. FIFA too, they will tell you that that's the only way. That's why FIFA always frown at federations when especially government, when they just go there and remove a democratically elected person, just remove it like that. They frown at it very well. So they've made their complaint. Let the process follow. Let everything go according to how it's supposed to be. Not you going up and down, start shouting, oh, they've not taken action, they've not done this, they've not done that. I mean, that's not the way to go about it.
Okay. Let's talk about, just for mention now, Akin Faisal, a club in Ghana, they have lost their appeal to the CAS for them to be reinstated in the Bet-Power Premier League. Remember, they got relegated last season, and their chairman, Alhaji Igrusa, has been saying that they played a game against one of the teams during the last season, and the team used an ineligible player. They've been unable to prove that. They lost their appeal in Ghana, went to CAS, and they've lost again. So we'll see what happens next. Remember that the same Grusa has filed an injunction to stop the ESCO election in the GFA. So we'll see how all of this pan out. Now, guys, let's talk about the Black Wings. Remember, James, I'll take you on this. Remember, there are 12-0 aggregates over Rwanda in the qualifier for AFCON. Of course, Senegal also qualified. The Super Falcons, I think, will be playing Cape Verde in their next qualifying round. Now, would you say the Black Wings are back?
Well, so far so good. That's what I would say. Since they lost to the Falcons and the qualifiers, I think they've been able to put together a good run of wins, whether in friendly games or in competitive games. They've been doing so well, So hopefully we'll see them in the next AFCON. Hopefully they will not be paired with the Super Falcons. And I think Cameroon, the indomitable Lions, they are out. Côte d'Ivoire too, they are out. So I don't know if it's the same regional pattern they are using, or it's just straight knockout involving everybody. But like I said, so far so good. The Black Wings, they've been awesome. They've been playing well. They've been scoring goals. Like I said, they shouldn't be paired against the Super Falcons. Not taking anything away from them, but the Super Falcons that I saw at the last World Cup, that is solid, well-grounded team that I don't think any African team. Forget what they did at the last AFCON. That team is well-grounded. If everything put together, I don't see any other African team stopping the Super Falcons. So hopefully the Black Wings will not get paired with the Super Falcons, because from what I've seen, I can't remember, like I said, the last time I can recall that they lost was against the Super Falcons. Since then, they've been playing friendly games. They've been doing well. They've been performing, So it only goes to show that the quality in the Black Wings is just so. Hopefully, if they go far, I hope to see them at the next AFCON in 2024, because this is a team that they've been so unlucky not to have won the AFCON. Even before South Africa won it, you expect the Black, because they've been around for like forever. I remember their first game in the qualifier was against the Super Falcons way back in the 1990 or 1991. They've been around. It's just unfortunate that whenever they get to the final, they always have the Super Falcons to contend with. So I think they've been doing well, and hopefully the GFA will not derail. We made them remain focused, and so that we'll see them in next AFCON. So at least it's a team that showed that they want to bounce back.
Okay, some Ghanaians are actually taunting the Black Stars. They said the Black Queens are currently better than the Black Stars. I did not know. What do you think? Okay, all right, guys. We do not have time to talk about other stuff that we would have loved to on the show today. Kado Gundari and James, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you, Femi.
Thank you very much.
All right, guys. We'll see you all on Monday. I remain Asholula Femi. Bye for now.